You ever had a guy tell you got laid because of your tattoo?
Yes, I actually advertise that. I tell my clients, I'm like, yo, you can get laid. And
That's like on your business cards.
Yeah,
like,
it's the coolest feeling ever, you know, like, and it did happen. It was like straight up. I tattooed this Jared Leto Joker on this dude. Boom. 3 days later, he walks in the shop. He just comes to tell me, yo, this got me laid.
Let's get a little of this whiskey.
Yeah. Is it recording already?
Maybe.
All right.
Or maybe it's not going to record at all.
Shit, fuck it. Well, let's just have a really good conversation.
Yeah, and just like send it out into the ether.
Yeah. It happened. It doesn't have to be posted to make sure that it happened, you know, like I think.
Like only Jesus himself will know.
Yeah, and that's all the only person that needs to know.
Yeah.
I like that. I like my voice. I usually hate my voice, but I guess the headphones.
Maybe that's like some form of narcissism that we don't know about.
Yeah. I'm in love with myself.
Put the mic a little close. Like, no, not like in front of your face, but just like, you know, like just suck on the mic. Like, do a little ASMR by Medz.
Hello. What does that remind you of?
Sucking on a dude. Anyway, man, thanks for coming down.
Thank you for having me,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Austin is dope. I was really looking forward to this. You know, you had offered to do this podcast, so I thought this was going to be my first podcast. But then I did the other one, and it got me, like, primed up a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of like that. It was like you did, like, an exhibition fight before the main event.
Yeah, so I'm here now, you know.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Bobby. It's really cool. I really like your studio. I really like how everything, the vibes. Where do you get this, like, kind of like, I guess, neon vibe from? Like,
I have no idea.
It's just like, that's your thing?
I think so.
Yeah. I fuck with
I don't know. You know, I always say that to, like, even young tattooers when they're talking about, like, style.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, how do you develop your own style? And my answer is always that you don't.
I guess so, right?
You just, like, try to live truly, and then it just presents itself. So
yeah, this is very Bobby, I would say.
But and that's, like, I never chose that.
Yeah, that's the right way to go about it, right? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Like, it has to be natural, and, like, it has to be you.
Yeah, but I think you need to, like, find yourself first, you know?
And it takes time. I think that for me personally, right, like, I've been tattooing for about 11 years, and I'm always asking me, what is it that I do? Like, what is my specialty, you know? And I've had many different things, different styles that I've, like, dabbled on, and I got better at. But I think one of the greatest advice that I got, it was from CVAC. He was just like, paint what you like, tattoo what you like.
Yeah.
And just do that and keep growing in that area, you know?
But that becomes hard for some people because they don't know what they like. That's kind of what I was saying. Like, it's like you almost have to, like, know what you're into. Yeah. And I guess, like you say, my aesthetic, but that's something that always, like, intrigued me. Like, I would go to, like, say, like, an electric music event or something, and I like the lights, or I always liked, like, vibes, you know, like dim, like, cool lighting and all that stuff. It's just something I always liked. But I didn't know that until I started having the ability to create my own space. Like, when I got my own apartment or my own studio, I started, like, I want to put, like, LEDs under everything and, like, this vibe, you know, like, so then it just kind of, and my work is, like, the same.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know?
Yeah, it fits really well. How long have you been tattooing?
Me, I've been tattooing for, I think I'm coming up on about 10 years now.
10 years?
Yeah, it was like May of 2014.
Oh, wow.
Was when I officially started tattooing full time.
Oh, nice.
But it was in 2013 that I started, like, half time, and I was apprenticing, and then I started doing some tattoos for money, but I was still working another job.
And this was in New Jersey?
In New Jersey, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then I eventually, you know, of course, I was so close to New York City, so then the natural move is, like, you go to the big city. You know, I was in, like, the suburbs of New Jersey tattooing first, and then, you know, I got the chance to, and that's where I met Dennis Sivak, like, in New York.
Oh, wow.
I worked at a shop called Inkology first, met him there, and then he opened his own studio, and then me and him became friends, so then I went with him and was, like, his first employee at Love Machine.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So then I was commuting from New Jersey to New York City for, like, 6 years or something. And then
and how long is that? Is that like 45? Is that an hour?
Well,
it could be like 5.
Yeah, it could be like someone's changing a tile in the Lincoln Tunnel, and there's like 3 hours of traffic at 2 a.m, or it could be like 15 minutes. You know, like, but it's never 15 minutes.
Oh wow.
Sometimes it would be like late at night, but very rarely, man. Even at that time, they're like, there's a dude on a fucking jackhammer on the side of the road, and like. Cats just rubbernecking. Yeah, you're stuck in the tunnel with exhaust fumes, and you're like, just like fucking getting nauseous.
Like crumble, and you're like done.
Yeah. The movie Daylight. You ever see that one? I think that's what it is, where they get stuck in the Lincoln Tunnel.
What? That's so horrible. Oh man.
So yeah, that's like, if I have any gray hairs, that's why.
Oh shit.
From commuting into that fucking shit. Yeah, dude. Like now I live like 20 miles from here, and it takes like 15 minutes because it's just on the freeway. Like, you know.
You're like speeding through it. You're like playing music, enjoying it.
Yeah.
I hate commuting, bro. I honestly, I did it when I was in Miami. I commuted for about 45 minutes, and every day it felt like work. It felt like I was, after I clocked out, I had to clock in to get to my house.
Yeah. No, I know, man. That and especially that commute from New Jersey to New York. They're so close. But they make it so difficult.
You can smell the other side.
You could smell the other side, but to get there via car,
it's impossible.
And it's almost like by the time you got to work, you're like already tired. Wow. You know. And then if you take the train, it's even like, I want to say it's worse, because now you're dealing with all these people, and sometimes you can't get a seat. Yeah, you're standing up.
It's
sometimes, and then you got to make a transfer, and you got to get on a subway, and then you're getting panhandled, and someone's shitting their pants in the corner. Like it's some kid. I saw a kid puke. Like
But you loved it, right? Like I think it was worth the commute.
It was like doing hard time. It was like going to jail for a little while.
Like you had to do it.
Like, but I was working with Moscow, Dennis Sivag, Levkin.
So it was just worth it.
So I mean, what other choice did I have? Yeah, I mean, work at a street shop in New Jersey, or
be at the top of the top.
Yeah, do hard time. I could have just moved to New York, but that's like, I don't know. I never really wanted to live in New York,
I feel like if you're from New Jersey, you wouldn't want to move into the city because you understand
exactly
the pricing. You understand that it's way too much. Like you could be paying maybe, I don't know if it's half or like 2/3 of
probably like more like 2/3, but because a lot of the people where I grew up, it's like a commuter like area, you know what I mean? So like there's trains that do run there. So if you're like a disciplined regular person, it's probably not that horrible. But when you're a tattooer, it's like, catching a train like at this time, I'd always be like running down the fucking street because you're always like late and shit. At least me, I don't speak for everyone, but like,
no, I'm definitely late, and I've had to like kind of understand that. I appreciate that about myself. It's like I'm on my own time. Yeah. And it's doesn't mean that I'm always going to be super late, but I'm always going to show up, like now I'm appreciating my process without criticizing it, which is crazy.
So you were mentioning that before in my car about the positive self-talk.
Yeah.
Is that like something to do with that? Like, it's like you almost, you've gained the discipline to like, instead of like trying to change yourself, more accept who you are.
I think so too. And I think that's the hardest part, because we might get caught up in this like self-improvement kind of wheel to not really deal with everything else. So like in my way of doing it is kind of like, okay, Medz, you're probably gonna be late. It's okay.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be okay. Like you will show up, you will do the best job possible, and everything will move on. Like I'm always stressing out that I'm late or I'm like, but in reality, it always ends up working out.
I'm not going to lie, I'm on that same fucking wave. And as I get older, I just accept it. I'm not a punctual person. But when I arrive, I'll be a great person. Yeah. And I'll be cool to everyone and charitable and, and part of the community and make people laugh or whatever, But so what? I'm fucking 15 minutes late. Then what are you going to do? I'm not like showing up to court as a lawyer.
You're not a Marine.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Be there on time, So, I guess appreciating yourself for the things you are good at, like, which I'm really good at, providing a service, being really good to people, making them feel special. I might show up 10 minutes late, but it'll be all right.
But I'll stay fucking 2 hours extra,
And you're definitely not gonna pay for those. Like, it's just
you make up for it. You make up for it. I'm the same way, for real. And but at the same time, like, I guess there is like a sense of like respecting someone else's time.
Oh, for sure. I'm definitely like, if I am late, I'm feeling the reason why I feel guilty is not because of myself, but if for that person's time.
Yeah.
Of course.
But at the same time, there's also like a real stress reduction in just being like true to yourself, like no friction with yourself.
Yeah, because you're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Like it's so why stress about it?
Well, change is hard,
Yeah.
But especially something like that, it's not like exactly like a bad thing, Sometimes it's like it means you're relaxing or
if it was going the other way where like I'm 10 minutes late, now I'm 30 minutes late, then I'm an hour late, then I'm 2 hours, then that means that I need to check myself.
It's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, and same here. I'm never like 2 hours late to anything. And I'm like a few minutes late. And usually I'll bring a coffee or I'll text my client, you want a coffee, or I'll buy him lunch, like
something. Yeah.
They know. Yeah. A lot of my good clients that work with me, they just know how I am. Yep. But I think they almost like start to appreciate that about you.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, this guy works this way, Like if it's the first session, it's always going to be a little bit tricky. Because you don't know that person. So I try not to be late for the first time client.
It's like going on a first date.
Yeah, you got to be presentable, You got to let them know you a little bit.
Yeah. No, it's true, yeah.
I saw this, one of my favorite, like, speeches by Bill Gates on YouTube. He did that for, like, Harvard or something, one of these universities. And he was like, all you got to do is be two things, You got to be on time, likable, or really good at your job.
Mm.
Out of those three,
you could pick two.
You could pick two.
What were they? Repeat that again.
It was be on time, be likable, and be really good at your job.
Yeah, so I go with likable and really good at my job,
so that I don't have to be on time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would you rather someone like early and on time, but an asshole?
Some people do.
Yeah. But then they don't resonate with you.
Yeah, they don't resonate with me.
Yeah, like, and I've had those kind of people. Yeah.
I've had people where they were like, "Oh, why are you late?" Like, And it could be like the smallest thing ever, like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But, maybe I won't tattoo you again.
Yeah,
and not because I don't appreciate your money or your business. Just this is an exchange of energy.
Yeah.
Where I have to be with you for 10 hours.
Yeah.
So if I'm in my head, I'm thinking,
10 hours at a minimum.
Yeah. Like if I have to think like, this guy like doesn't appreciate me or doesn't appreciate my process, it's going to be harder, like really.
Especially if you look at like specifically my art, like I'm an abstract guy.
Yeah, like
you don't get that kind of abstraction from like a marine like figure.
Yeah.
So
but people usually understand. I think that everyone who reaches out to us, most everyone, like I think they want to work with us, and however that process is, they'll be okay with it.
And I think that is most people. Yeah, especially when you get to like a higher level of tattooing or more like niche kind of thing, like maybe like you and I are, like I think people are just happy to like collect your work.
The
like,
fact that they got in is like everything.
Yeah, like
it's crazy to me to think about that, dude. I love that my clients are able to wait, and they take a whole day off. They make it a thing. So like my job is to make sure that tattoo is the best, even if I'm 10 minutes late.
Well, you might have been 10 minutes late because you were home like studying reference.
Or stressing about your design.
Yeah. Or you were up late last night thinking about some composition.
Yeah, no.
Probably not, but
I'm
just kidding.
I think, honestly, even when I'm not thinking about it, I'm thinking about it.
It's like a subconscious thing, yeah.
Because at least I got to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I used to not be like that. I used to be like the day off.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I want to know if it's a skull, it's going to be a skull. If it's going to be a face, it's going to be a face. And I'm like thinking, like just even in the back of my head, I'm not really doing work. I'm not sitting down, but I'm thinking about your idea.
Well, the guy who taught me that used to tell me that when someone like comes with you with an idea, that a good way to go about it is to visualize the idea before you go to sleep, mm-hmm. like a movie.
Oh, wow.
Not like as an image.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at it as like a motion picture.
Wow, that's really good.
It was like really cool advice, actually. And I still, live by that. Like you see it like in motion, like, and it's almost like you're familiarizing yourself with like the feeling of it. Yep. You know what I mean? That's something I do.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, I don't like to know about the project I'm working on too far in advance.
Oh no, I think that's stressful.
I only look sometimes like because I got the assistant now. She takes care of everything. Sometimes I just look through my calendar for like a few days before.
Yeah.
And that's when I'll start like maybe visualizing things. You know.
Yeah. I at least for me, I have to do 1 or 2 days before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like nothing more. Because, and honestly, we are working on designs almost every day too. Like we're tattooing somebody for 10 hours. Like
So you want to be current.
Yeah, I want to be current. I want to know how I feel, and I make those decisions as the person that I am right there.
Yeah. Because something might change drastically in your life from last week.
I'll throw the design that I designed last week.
Yeah.
Just like that.
So. Yeah, or maybe you saw some movie or some fucking YouTube video or went to a dance club, like whatever, and you picked up like, an inspiration.
Yeah, definitely.
From there, and that just happened yesterday, Yeah,
so you have to implement it. You have to leave enough room to implement those experiences into the designing process.
Yeah. So what you mentioned design process. What is your typical design process?
I think it's funny because like I laugh at myself because in the beginning of all of this, I had no process, right? Like I had no understanding of what it was to be booked. I had no understanding of what it was to have really good clients. And then slowly working with the more like better artists and then seeing them, I started to realize how important prep work was, So like the days that I would prep up for like at least 3 hours before, have whether it be a full design or whether it just be a thought process for 3 hours, just like thinking about this piece, made that tattoo way better. So like I've reached a point where my tattooing would only get better if I put the time into the designing aspect of it. Yeah. Because the technical aspects of tattooing come pretty easy to me now.
Yeah. It's like repetition. It becomes like riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta have a good bike.
Yeah.
Or a good design on that bike to like run,
like a fucking carbon fiber.
Yeah, just like
Specialized the brand or some shit.
Have that little like bounce to it.
Yeah, like the gel pad on the seat even,
So I think the design process now is kind of like I get home after a long day of tattooing, of course. I look at images. I try to just collect references. I'm not like designing at that night,
Yeah.
I'm just collecting references.
And thoughts maybe.
Yeah, and just thinking about it. And if I do get inspired, if I find something, I think that my design process, I will say this, is I will design something that I want rather than design the person's tattoo. And that has always hit. Like that hits better than if I were to like design their tattoo. So let's say somebody tells me I want to, what was the last time? I want this sleeve to commemorate my friend's death. And I completely designed my stuff. Like I was just thinking about their story, but I was like, what would I do?
Yeah.
Rather than like bring those actual elements, I want to design something with that in mind without being so literal.
Yeah.
So that's a good way of like doing stuff. I always come out with the best stuff when I'm like refusing to do what they're telling me to do. Yeah. And I just do my stuff.
Well, it takes a real confidence in yourself to do that.
Because then I got to present it.
Yeah.
I gotta go up there and be like, "Hey, this is what I designed."
And you risk rejection.
Oh,
I think that's what a lot of people ask. Like, how do you get away with these designs or this crazy thing? Or it's like you're like basically like it's like walking up to a chick in a fucking bar and being like, "Hey, girl, like,
pretty much,
what's you doing?" And she could just like slap you in the face. You know what I mean? It's like, but she could also be like chilling with you now, homie.
I think with stuff like that, even like girls, dude, the hottest girl never gets approached.
Right.
Why? Because she's hot.
Yeah.
Everyone's
it's scarier. Yeah.
It's scarier. Like you take that L, you're gonna feel some sort of way,
Yeah.
But the dudes who actually approach her and take that chance.
And with confidence.
Oof, they could glide.
It's almost the same kind of shit.
Yeah, I think so, dude. With me, it's like I've had people tell me I want this, and it's straight up, I don't tell them this. This is just for the podcast. But straight up just not design their stuff. And I just design what I want.
Yeah,
and I walk in there, I'm like, this will be amazing.
And it'll be completely different?
Yeah. There will be like, I wanted a girl. I'll give you a skull now.
Yeah. Homie's just out there shooting in the dark, like from the hip. Like
and it works because I walk in there and I'm in love with the design. Don't get me wrong. That's a big thing right there. I am fully behind this.
Yeah, you believe in it.
I believe in it.
And it's infectious.
Yeah, and they're like, wow. Like I had a homie who was like, he wanted a memorial sleeve. We ended up doing this like super sick, surrealistic, monumental, like weird thing. Like you can't even tell me what it is. It's just sick.
Homie's just out there manipulating cats. Like I'm just fucking.
No, and now he's sold. I think.
Yeah. And then his next piece is gonna be like, do your thing.
It doesn't matter, bro. Like it doesn't matter what you do, because you know what it is. I also noticed that people are not open to new ideas, especially the crazy ones. But if they get the compliment at the grocery store, that's it. It changes their whole life, their whole like aspect on tattoo, and they're like, oh, this is cool. I would have never thought that. I would have never even gotten that. But because I got it and like I trusted my artist, I'm getting compliments everywhere I go.
Yeah, like homeboy's just wearing a pair of joggers and slides, and he's out there trying to feel a ripe avocado, and a guy comes up to him next to him and is like, yo, sick tat.
Yeah, and that's like big for them, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell my clients. I'm like, yo, if you let me do what I do, I promise you'll get stopped.
Yeah.
And I do get texts all the time. Like, yo, I got stopped. Like 3-4 times.
You ever had a guy tell you he got laid because of your tattoo?
Yes, I actually advertise that. I tell my clients, I'm like, yo, you can get laid.
That's like on your business cards?
Yeah, like, it's the coolest feeling ever, you know? Like, and it did happen. It was like straight up. I tattooed this Jared Leto Joker on this dude. Boom. 3 days later, he walks in the shop. He just comes to tell me, yo, this got me laid.
Is that why they call you Medz? Because you're like giving people the medicine, like on how to like, you're like a transcending tattoo, and you're almost becoming like a life coach.
Yeah, you know? Dude. I think that in tattooing, right, like you could make it whatever you want it to be. Like it could be a therapy session. It could be almost like plastic surgery. To a certain extent, you know, that having to modify your body for whatever insecurity you might have. I mean,
what are you doing? Fucking nose jobs out there, like guys, fucking giving Botox to chicks. And is that what you were doing in Miami,
dude? In Miami, crazy story I have in Miami. One time I did do some piercings on these girls who just walked in.
They're like, "Is a piercer here?" And you're like,
And I was like, "No, he's not, but you can come back later." And they're like, "Oh, why don't you do it?" It's like, "Oh shit!" Like me and my buddy were like, "Oh fuck."
What'd you do? Pierce a nipple with a 3-liner or something?
Dude, we did pierce 4 nipples, honestly.
Yeah, and would you just use the dude's shit?
Yeah, we just like, it was weird. I'm not a piercer, dude. Like I don't fucking enjoy that. It was weird.
Have you done it again after that?
Yeah, it was like.
Is it the one jam thing?
Yeah, it was one of those things.
But you were around the piercer, so you probably like had some idea.
Of course, you know, like I mean, the process itself seems kind of like basic. You know, just boop, then boop the other thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
But they wanted it, you know. They gave us consent. It wasn't like we never like lied to them or anything.
Yeah.
We're like, yo, we don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you guys.
Oh, you told them what's up.
Yeah, we don't do this. You should wait for the piercer. But they were like, oh, we just want you to do it. Just watch a YouTube video. And we're like, fuck it. You know, like we were bored.
And you went back and watched did you watch a YouTube video?
I watched the YouTube video. We figured it out. And then we were like, okay.
Yeah.
We do this. Yeah. And I did it.
That's funny,
and
man.
it came out great. Like they came back and they were like, yo, look, it looks.
And that was in Miami.
That was in Miami, yeah.
And that's where you started, yeah?
Yeah.
That's where are you from there, yeah?
I am originally from Honduras. I moved to Miami when I was 12 years old.
12 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I grew up there kind of thing.
Like you went to high school there and all that
I went
shit?
to high school, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know English at the time when you moved there? So you learned it there and everything?
So I came here in 2006. I knew no English. I was, I already had the idea that I was going to come here, you know, because my mom was just working to get the whole papers transaction going.
Yeah.
So it took about 5 years to get through the whole thing. I came in as a resident.
Okay, so she was working towards that.
Yeah.
Since you were like even younger, and then you kind of knew that was the plan.
Yeah, I knew that I was going to leave the country. I knew I was going to come over here. So the idea of that, I was like, okay, cool, it's happening.
And when did you get into tattooing?
I got into tattooing during high school. I was like 17.
Like just scratch? You're doing it yourself?
Yep. I was in high school. I thought about the idea because I like being an artist, but I never really I was like, I'm an artist.
I'm the same way.
It's just like, I like doing this.
Yeah, I started becoming an artist when I started tattooing.
Yeah, that's when I accepted it, I guess.
Yeah, accepted it. Yeah, because I always was artsy.
Yeah.
I could draw a little bit and shit, but I didn't take it seriously until I knew I could be a tattoo artist.
Yeah. That definitely solidified it, that idea, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're an artist. Because at first I didn't really think about it. My uncle was an artist, so I do have a little bit of like an understanding that you could take this as a career. But I wasn't around him too much for me to like even entertain the idea.
But you would say he was probably one of your first influences indirectly? Or?
Indirectly, yeah. Like one of those subconsciously, like I would have never thought.
It planted the seed.
Yeah. I remember being a kid and like going to his house and like playing with his paints, you know?
Yeah.
So that's ingrained in my head. But it never like came forth as like, oh, this is the thing you want to do.
Yeah. Drop the seed though.
Yeah.
And what kind of artist was he?
He's a painter. He's like he teaches art. He's an art teacher in Honduras. So
okay.
Yeah, so he's like a legit like
Yeah.
Knows his stuff. And I haven't gone back. So I'm going back this year and I'm really excited to like sit down with my uncle and like ask questions.
For the first time?
First time, yeah. So nice. It's kind of cool.
Cool.
Like, I'm really looking forward to like connecting with my background, you know, that I kind of left behind.
Yeah.
Spanish is still good. So like, I know I'm going to transition really well, you know, but it's been a minute. And this has been something in my mind that I was like, when I go back, something's going to transcend because I'm going back to the roots of it all. Yeah. So I'm excited for that.
So you almost like have this like feeling that it'll like give you some new inspiration or like even beyond inspiration, like unlock like some kind of like something. Art chakra or some shit.
I'm hoping, you know, but I think that everything with beliefs, dude, like if you believe it's going to happen, it will happen.
So you're just trying to go out there and manifest.
Yeah, dude, I want to see what's up. I want to paint people on the streets. You know, I think that would be so cool. Just paint one of these ladies who's making like tamales out in the streets.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Like, I think that would be like.
How's the situation there? Because I watched this one guy on YouTube does like extreme travel and shit, and he went out there, and it looks like parts of it are like, you know, looked rough. Like
I think it's a third world country all around. You know, like but there's the touristy parts, which is like beautiful. They have structures like Mayan structures. That's my biggest dream. Even when I was over there as a kid, I was like, I want to go see these pyramids. Like the Mayans were there. I feel so connected to that. You know, not connected, but really prideful of.
Yeah,
because it's like this ancient civilization that like rule that side of the world, you know. Yeah, and I always want to go see it. That's one of my biggest things. But it is a third world country. That's all I can say. I was like, what do you expect? Like, the people are hungry, people are poor, but people are happy. People are like alive in a weird way, you know.
Sure,
they don't have the commodities to like not be. Not appreciate life, and they
get creative, resourceful.
Yeah, I love that about them. And you know, even if they don't have meat, they'll eat rice and beans and like. Yeah,
they make do. Yeah, and they probably have love.
They do, bro. They really do. It's like, I don't know if you ever seen these like really rich people and they look like they're not happy.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah.
They're just like, but I don't know. I'm really just hoping to connect with my culture, connect with my family, connect with that side that I kind of, you know, I wanted to become Americanized. Yeah. For the longest, you know, like I went to a school, it was predominantly black. It's called Overtown in Miami, and probably 80% of it was black. And there was like 20%, maybe 30%, 18% Hispanic, and then like 2% white.
So a couple of rednecks from Florida mixed in.
And so I didn't know any English, right? So I had to learn real fast. Like I didn't know how to say like, can I use the restroom? Yeah.
You were like, ¿Dónde está el baño?
Yeah, but they were like, I was like, I learned, and then this black lady called me sweetie. And I thought it was the sweetest thing ever. Like, I didn't even know what that meant, but she said it in a way that, yes, you can, sweetie. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is cool. Like, I love this. Like, you know, this like love that just like, without me understanding what the word, but with the way she said it, it was kind of cool. Yeah. That was the first few words that I remember like learning. Yeah. I mean, like understanding them.
Sweetie.
Like, sweetie, or like honey. I was like, oh my God. You know how like black girls talk to you? I love
You're making my fucking blood sugar levels spike right now, you know?
But yeah, it was a really cool experience though. I got exposed to like hip hop. You know, I knew that rap was like the hottest shit. Lil Wayne was the biggest artist at the time. So it was like, I love rap now. You know, it's a big influence on who I am.
Yeah, that was like what, 2013, probably like that.
It was, you know, it was 2007 to like 2013. That was like that like whole run of like, he's just hot, like one of the biggest artists.
That was like when like Lollipop or some shit.
Exactly. That's first few songs that I remember.
I always liked that album from him that was like a little like offbeat for him. That one, it was called "I'm Not a Human Being."
That with the little guitar.
It was like a weird album.
Yeah, he was going through his like rock phase.
I actually like low key kind of liked it.
Nah, fuck with
it was like eccentric.
I'm just a fan now, bro, because that was like the first rapper that, you know, you would hear kids be like, "That's the best rapper alive."
Oh, I always liked him.
So I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, you know. Yeah. So it was cool. I do really enjoy how I came up. I feel like it was, I was kind of like in between the Hispanic hood, walked over to the other side, to the black community. Yeah. And that was also the hood. You would see the similar struggles all around. Yeah. And it was like, I don't know, it was cool. It was very raw. And now looking back at it, I appreciate it so much.
Well, it creates like a sense of like like appreciation or something.
Yeah.
Or
now I go everywhere else, and I'm like, yeah, Miami's dope. Like how I was raised, it was dope. The experiences I had were dope.
Yeah, no, I love Miami. Actually, it's like one of my favorite cities. I every time I go there, I love it.
What about you? How was your kind of childhood?
I just grew up in a small suburban town in New Jersey. Nice. Yeah, right outside New York City. Very commuter town. It was like, I would say like a good amount commuters and a lot of like townies.
Okay.
Like small town people that like never leave.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
What'd you guys do for fun? Hit up the 7-Eleven?
Yeah, like literally. We used to hang out in the Blockbuster parking lot with like handles of Majorska vodka. You know what I mean? Like piss on everything and like make out with the same chicks and like, you know?
Just rotate them.
Yeah. Nice. You like make out with one girl on Friday and your boy makes out with her on Saturday. You know what I mean? Like just
gotta
like
share because it probably wasn't too much.
You know, it was like a lot of like town folk, you know what I mean? Like the same kind of people hanging around. Like a lot of them are probably still there right now. You know?
Nice. They'll be
good
like, yo,
people,
Bobby.
But but good, very loyal people, you know?
Like usually small town people, I love that kind of energy.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's a good place to be from.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, those big cities, I feel like you don't get to experience that. I feel like I didn't know my neighbor. And we live like right next to each other.
We had like I grew up in an area they call the Meadowlands.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where like Giant Stadium is. They call it MetLife Stadium now. But at the I guess the eastern side of our town, you'd go down like a hill, and it was like weeds and swampland.
Oh wow!
So kids would get like mud trucks and like a lot of Broncos.
So it's kind of like Florida, but upstate.
Yeah, nah, I mean, I wouldn't say upstate, but it's just like it's where they film The Sopranos, you know. It's like the Meadowlands, and it's just like weedy. But our town was like a community, but you go down the hill and it got like industrial and like and weeds.
Okay.
And we used to go down there, and kids would make bonfires.
Yeah, because there was space. Like
but it was also hidden.
Oh, okay.
And we'd go down there and throw keg parties.
Ooh.
But like you know, like the older kids would buy like a sleeve of red cups and like mark the bottom of them, and you had to buy the cup. Oh, and once you bought the cup, you can drink all you want.
Oh,
but you would get in, and then the thing is like there was only a few ways out, but the police would kind of like stake out those spots.
So you could get caught.
Yeah, but you would go out in like big groups.
So you can only catch like one or two.
Yeah, or like there was just too many people to do the paperwork for. But the thing was like the cops did the same shit because they're from the town too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like I think they kind of turned their head a little, you know, maybe.
They were like other kids, they're having fun.
Yeah, and it was like private property, so that I don't think they could breach it or whatever. Like I don't know. It was like kind of like really eerie and cool. You go through like all these like loading docks, and there'd be dudes like loading trucks at like, you know,
You're
nighttime.
Like out there partying.
Yeah, and we'd be like shimmying through. I almost got hit by a fucking train down there one time too, because the trains would run through there and shit. And there was also like dirt bike jumps and shit. And cats would be out there with like dirt bikes and like.
Damn, that sounds cool.
It was kind of cool, and they would start these big bonfires and all that shit.
I've heard of like stuff like that. Even like Robbie told me, you know, where he lives. He's like,
very, like in Maryland.
Yeah, very like all those like what's it called, the farmhouses and stuff like that. Just space. People pull up and like have really good parties. All of that, we never had that in Miami. You know?
Well,
like,
the thing about our thing though was unique because it was a very suburban populated area, but there was just like this one area where there was open space. But it was not like where he was in Maryland, where it's just like a lot of open space.
Okay,
it's like not like that.
This was just the one designated spot. For everything.
Yeah, and there was like a garbage dump down there and shit. And like, you know what I mean? It's
you
like
could find something there.
Probably like polluted. You know what I mean? Like it was like
radioactive.
Yeah, because it was like between our town and New York City. It's like, but I think it's undeveloped because it's too swampy. Oh, okay. But it's just like a small area. It's not like it's like not the general vibe of the area. Oh, okay. So it was kind of unique to like our town. We kind of had that, you know.
So only kind of you guys knew about it, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
And maybe like the kids from the next town over, maybe sometimes would like kind of creep their way over. Oh, shit. You know what I mean?
That's cool. I feel like you could have a lot of freedom in those parties.
Yeah.
Like in the city, it was like you can't get away with a lot of
shit.
Like
yeah.
That.
You would need to have like those parents that like don't give a shit. Yeah. Everyone had those.
Yeah, those are cool parents.
Yeah, you know. But like in hindsight, they're like not cool. Like they're like bad people. Almost. Like
they're negligent.
Yeah, I remember going to some kid's house. We're like fucking 16, and we're all just like wasted, and the mom's like giving us shit.
Like, yeah,
and then
do you guys need anything?
I remember the one lady fell asleep on the couch, and she said like kids crawling around on the floor like babies, and we're in there like fucking drinking and making out with people, you know, like all weird. I'm like, how does this parent just allow this? Like, it's nuts. Like in hindsight, like at the time I thought she was cool, but now I'm just like,
now you're judging.
Was she on like meth? Like what the fuck?
Dude, I think with stuff like that, it's like maybe the reasoning is behind it is that they think that they would rather have their kids do it right there where they can see them.
Yeah, wasn't even that. I know that. Like maybe my mom got like that when I was a little older. Like, yeah, you can have beer at home with your good friend that you grew up with, and we know the parents. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but that wasn't.
No, that wasn't it. It was just like reckless.
I've had friends of mine where they talk to their parents in ways that I could never.
Well, that's some white people shit.
That I was like, God damn, dude. No, but it was like, you know what it was? It was white Hispanics. It was,
like a mix?
Like, no, they're just white, and
they were Hispanics, but they were like culturally white.
Yes.
Like where the kid just like, fuck you, mom, I'm playing Nintendo.
I was like, what? Like, how do you talk to your mom like that?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that would run. Yeah.
Yeah, like
culturally
hey,
white.
Billy, come to eat.
I like that.
And then the kid would be like, fuck you, mom, I'm fighting fucking Bowser in Mario Party or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
I would just be like I was waiting for action to happen. And it was like, no, it's just like
well, you were like, bro, I'm Hispanic. My mom would have beat my ass.
Yeah, I would have never.
Yeah,
you wouldn't even have been allowed to be here now.
Well, I mean, realistically, it was just like a respect thing, you know?
Yeah, but that was fun. It put me on. I was like, oh, there are white Hispanics.
Well, I always joke around and say white is like a mind state.
It is. I think so too.
Yeah.
Dude. I think I've tapped into it. You know, without even knowing. I'm like, oh, I'm just while I'm driving, I'm like, yeah, I won't get stopped.
Well, you moved out to Maryland now. That's the problem.
I think so, dude. I think that I walk with this self-righteousness to myself.
Yeah, I mean, you're hanging out in like the cornfields and shit. Maryland, you got the Klan over in the background. No,
honestly, there are.
I know.
There are stories about it, dude.
I know. I heard. Yeah.
I believe it. I'm not opposed to whatever you believe, you know.
When,
but don't come near me.
Yeah. Do your thing over there.
Yeah, like throw your parties out there.
Yeah.
I feel like overall, all of that hatred has to come down to community, feeling accepted, and being part of something.
Well, it's like the same reason why someone would join a gang.
Yeah, right. Like it's just like that, like
a sense of belonging.
Yeah, but do you belong somewhere? I think that most of those guys just need a hug.
Probably.
Just like
probably a couple hugs.
Yeah, you know, like
maybe they even need like a French kiss or something. You know?
Something, dude. But it ain't that deep, you know.
It's not. It's actually kind of simple.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like when people get too reactionary to that stuff, like you're saying, like on the contrary, like they're like equally as like silly because it's like you could just break it down very simply. Like this is just a person who lacks love, community, belonging. Yeah. So they found it there. It's like you said,
if you are reactionary, then you're being the same as them.
Yeah, and
which is I love that point.
Yeah. You're almost provoking more rebellion. Mm-hmm. Like that one guy I heard on like the Joe Rogan podcast or whatever that converts people from the Klan. You heard about that guy?
No, I've never heard of that.
It's this dude. I forget his name. He's like a musician. Okay. And it's actually in Maryland. And I forget the town. It was a town not far.
It would have to be on Maryland.
It was in Maryland. It really was. And he was a black fellow and he was a musician and he was playing. And he said a guy came up to him and I might be butchering this story, but a guy came up to him and was like telling him how like his music was great or something, blah, blah, blah. And then he was in the Klan. And then the guy, the musician, like started talking to him and he didn't get reactionary or judge him. And that he actually wound up converting him.
Oh, shit.
Because the guy, like, for the first time in his life,
he talked to somebody who was just like, their stereotype didn't match or whatever.
Yeah, who he was supposed to hate.
Yeah.
And then that guy was so like open and like accepting of him that like I don't know the exact story, but he like reciprocated. Yeah. And he wound up converting like, believe it or not, like 200 Klans members by now.
That's awesome.
And when he converts them, he takes their uniform or some shit.
Oh shit!
It's like I forget his name. You could probably Google it.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I'll probably watch that episode.
Yeah. So Joe Rogan had him on like a few times.
Oh hell yeah!
But it's like older episodes, but it's very interesting. Yeah. And he talks about it.
I love that, dude, because it really comes down to like accepting, realizing that we do have our prejudice, but it's like it doesn't mean that you can't be exposed to like love. You know, once you get exposed to love, it's like you can't deny that.
And you can't fight hate with hate.
Yeah, you can't.
So it's like the only thing you could do to someone so hateful is potentially love them.
It definitely is.
And you may just inspire them.
Yeah.
But if you just hate them in return, it just provokes their ego more.
You know, another thing that I think about, even though we're like getting deep into this, is that all of that hatred is like love they never received, love they've never experienced.
Yeah, it's like the backswing of it. Yeah, it's like the...
You know when you don't get your stuff you want, you feel resentful. You're like...
Yeah.
You gotta like channel it to something.
Yeah.
So I think it's easy to pick something to hate.
Yeah.
You know, like you pick something, you stand behind it, but you might not know exactly why you feel that way.
Yeah, it's like a fear.
Yeah,
it's like an internal lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you understand that, it's easier for you as like to cope with it as like an outsider.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like. It's just like not taking someone's fear personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because their fear is just a reflection of themselves rather than a reflection of who you are.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people fall into that trap. They become reactionary to somebody else's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like somebody else is having a bad perspective, and now you're going to get so reactive to it. It's like you might as well be them. Like you're taking on the hate.
You know what I hate, dude? And I see it a lot is like people who get drawn into these like back and forth.
Yeah.
Comment section, Facebook thing. I'm like, dude, you are literally losing every word you type in there.
Yeah.
Letting it go is the way you win.
It's true power.
If you don't let anybody else affect you, that's when you have really true power.
Yeah.
And it's
power.
hard.
Yeah, it's simple, but it's not easy.
No, I'm reactionary all the time.
Yeah.
I can speak it and I can sound like I'm wise, but I'm not. I'm just like you. You know, I'm just like anybody else. I will react. I will have my prejudice, but I have to check myself.
But you understand it. And because you understand it, then that means you have the potential to apply it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. And sometimes it might be harder than others.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't get enough sleep. You know, maybe you didn't drink enough water. Maybe you didn't get laid, you know?
Yeah, that would definitely make me mad.
But I think it's important to understand to like let things roll off you like water.
Yeah.
Like almost like a windshield with Rain-X on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've been meditating a little bit more.
Oh, yeah?
I've been praying.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that. Well, I have done that when I was a kid. I was raised Catholic.
But it was like forceful at the time.
Yeah, and then I went all hatred against Catholicism or like any religion, any form of, what's it called?
Like organized religion.
Organized religion, yes, of course. But as I'm getting older, man, it's like something is out there.
Oh, yeah.
Unexplainable. I can't even put it into words, and I'm accepting that, and I'm like, I prayed for the first time, like probably 2 weeks ago, man.
Yeah.
Like I sat down and I just prayed. Like that was one of the most like rewarding things that I've ever done as a human.
And you felt good.
I felt good because it was like, I wasn't praying to Jesus. I was just praying to that which I don't understand.
Yeah. You're surrendering.
Yes.
It's surrender. It's like I know everything, but I know nothing.
I know nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. And like when you accept there's just like a force bigger than you or the inevitable, like death.
Yep.
Like you can't control any the so way
you gotta
life.
Submit to it, right?
Yeah.
And even for 10 minutes, I submit for 10 minutes because I usually don't submit to anything as a human, you know, as a man. Like,
you want to control things.
Yeah. But I submit to this for 10 minutes, you know, in the morning. Then everything seems doable.
Right.
Everything seems like it has no weight for some reason.
It's almost like you got the like the poison out of the way or like you're just in acceptance of reality.
Yep.
That then everything else can kind of just flow through you because you're not like jammed up with controlling things.
You're trying to control.
You're not wasting energy on something that you can't change anyway.
And also been meditating as well. Try to do both or like a mixture of both. Sometimes I'll just take a nap. You know, I'll go into like a meditative
I'm good
state.
at that.
I'll be in a meditative state for 10 minutes and I get really sleepy. I'll take a 30-minute nap, wake up amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's part of like accepting who I am, you know, like I know that I need 10 minutes to myself before anything.
Well, we can circle that back to the beginning of our conversation where we're talking about like art styles and you know, accepting that maybe you're late. Yep. You know, it's like this self-acceptance allows true freedom.
Yep. Yeah,
and really sometimes that's when you find your art style or you work with confidence or you treat people with confidence. And then because it all starts within you. Yeah. It's like as within, so without. Yeah. Like how can you expect someone to trust you
if you don't trust yourself?
Like literally, like it's like that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Like I can feel that you don't trust every move you make. So how the fuck can I trust you?
Yep.
Right? Like, but if like you meet somebody who's like centered, present, trusted in themselves, confident, then it's like, well, I'm going to trust you because you're making moves with confidence.
Yeah. So the way that even like when I was a younger tattoo artist, you know, you can imagine like me being 18, 19, no tattoos, and still carrying myself. I still had doubts, don't get me wrong. But, you know, I learned over the year to carry myself in a way that there's no doubt while I'm doing your tattoo. And they always trusted me. You know, I was the kid who had no tattoos. I got to look like an apprentice for like a really long time. Yeah. I got to have my arms tattooed. And I was probably like 21 and I was still like, you know, people were like, who is this kid? Like, oh, is he really going to tattoo me? But I would walk in and I'll be like, no, I'm the best man for the job.
Yeah.
And they appreciate that demeanor because this is I tell people this is a performance, a high performance job. I have no room for fuck up. You know, not visibly.
well, I mean, that's not just something to glaze over because at the end of the day, we're imperfect beings living on, you know,
with a high standard.
But it's like, it's not about not making mistakes.
Yeah.
It's about making mistakes like almost with intention.
Yeah.
Like not with intention, but like, you know,
being reactive after you make a mistake with the right reaction. I think that's the way.
Yeah. Or how to like fix your mistake or mend your errors, you know, like it's, you're not going to not make a mistake. Like if I were to say that to any younger tattooer who thinks they need like to achieve perfection, it's like perfection is not in reality. Yeah. It's not a real thing.
It's almost like I like to think about it like a magic show.
Yeah.
Like you can't see behind the curtain because it's not going to be, there's the whole magic's going to be lost.
It's not part of the show.
So if I tell you I do make a mistake, like what are you going to be like, oh, well, he makes mistakes? No, it's like I know how to hide my work so well that there's no way you could tell there's a mistake unless you might be a tattoo artist, you know, like.
Yeah, but
even like, then, like, I feel like most tattoo artists are like, oh my God, like, I love your work. And then, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, but if you do this, or like, I'm like, oh, but if you notice this, and like, the only critic, honestly, is just myself.
Yeah, and sometimes what you think is a mistake, even like an acclaimed tattoo artist, is like, I don't see what you're talking about, dude. It's like, it's at the end of the day, just because it's permanent, it's still art, and it's still being, you know, presented by another human being. Yeah. You know, I think it's about minimizing your mistakes, hiding them, blending them in right, or using them to your advantage.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that my tattooing, right, I would describe it as like, before we get to style, it's like precision with happy mistakes.
Well, it's like the Bob Ross.
Yeah, you know? Bro. I'm like, I love the things that I could do with 2 strokes rather than 50. Somebody else might have taken them 5. I did it in 2. Yeah. I love that because that meant intention.
Are you? Yeah, that's what I learned most when I went and got tattooed from Dimitri Samohin.
It's like intentional.
I've gotten fast at tattooing recently, and a lot of it is because it's a confidence thing. It's like I know this is gonna be blue, or I know I'm gonna do a cloud here. It's like, why do I need to fuck around with it? It's like ba-boom, 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 ba-boom.
You know, something that Hector from M4L taught me. Who's like, and I guess he just knows. You know, like when you see a younger tattoo artist, I could see their like lack of confidence. So he was like, Medz, like, you know how to pack black. Pack that shit and move the fuck on. Yeah. What are you doing?
That's like, the best fucking advice.
Right? I was like, you're right. Like, I know how to pack black. Yeah. Why am I thinking
when you're pussyfooting around?
Yeah, when the real detail that where it's required for you to like slow down and really get to the gritty.
You got more time for it.
Yes, because you went and you solidified that black and you moved on.
Quick. It's black from here to here. Make it black. I used to make it like half black.
I'm like over here like...
Yeah.
No, it doesn't require that.
You're out there doing ballet in a field of black when you just need to be doing like some fucking...
Boom, move on. Yeah. Because... and that's what I like about a favorite tattoo artist of mine. You know, I'd be like, I love their efficiency. Yeah. I love they're not fucking around. Yeah. Most of the tattoo artists, a higher level tattoo at a really good speed.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now, man. Like, I'm doing my tattoos sometimes in half the time lately.
And you're like, wow, like now I have all it. So another thing that I have for me as I'm growing up as a tattoo artist, like I want to enjoy my life. Yeah. I don't want to tattoo for 12 hours every day. What the fuck?
So if you can achieve this exact same thing in 6, you start figuring out those ways.
Yeah, and you're like,
man, I got to go to dinner at 8 o'clock, you know? And also, even just beyond that, it's like, is it even fair to me to work until 2 a.m.?
It's not.
Why don't I try to now? I also think it's a luxury. When I say that, I mean, when you're learning how to tattoo, you want the best tattoo possible. Yeah. So you start getting these crazy cool results, and you'll do whatever it takes to do that. And even if that means tattoo until 3 a.m. Yeah. But then once you start achieving those great works in those long periods of time, you start running out of things to learn. So then you start focusing on stuff like efficiency. But you can't focus on efficiency if you didn't already achieve the product.
Yeah. So
does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I love how that you put that, because to me it's like, I've done tattoos that I'm not gonna do again.
Yeah.
I'm good. I proved it. I proved it to myself. I'm not trying to prove it to nobody else. I proved it to myself.
Right.
That was a hard ass tattoo to pull off.
Yeah.
I don't need to do it again. That's not where my heart lies.
Yeah.
And my heart lies on like big blocks of color, flow, movement. Like it doesn't have to be like a certain thing.
Isn't that interesting? Because I actually felt that too. I used to be like so caught up, like I need to use a round shader and get every texture and this and that. And then now that I'm getting more mature in tattooing, it's like, wait, half this tattoo could be quite simple and I could just put texture where it matters. And it actually ages better. It was done in half the time. It heals better. Yes. And then it's just like, but it's more impactful. Yeah. But you did less.
Yeah. And that's what I think that you were saying. It's like you reach a level where you're like, all you're trying to do is push that bar all the way high, right? And I pushed it to,
and then you get it there,
and you're like, I don't want to do that again. That's not where my heart lies. I want to be able to do a tattoo in 6 hours and still have even more of an impact than that tattoo that took me 36.
Yeah, and another thing is like you also hit this certain level where you're already putting out works at that level consistently. So it's like, okay, so I already understood, and not that you can't keep learning and growing, but you already did. You know, you already did the work for color theory. You already did the work for contrast. You already did, like you understand.
Saturating everything, like making sure that it
you're
heals the same way.
consistently saturating. You're consistently having it heal good. So it's like, wait, now I don't need to put my effort into like worrying about it healing or worrying about it being saturated because I've gotten real strong at that. Yeah. Now it's like, well, what am I going to do now? Oh, efficiency.
It comes back to design, right? Like you design something that I think about, like, I want to tattoo 6 to 8 hours max. I need to design something that will allow me to move big mags here, big mags here, boom, 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 round shader in the middle, boom, boom, boom.
And using the right tool for the right job sometimes is disciplinary in itself.
Sometimes I think that, you know, a lot of the round shader work, there was like, me and Robbie always had like a joke, you fall in this round shader hole.
It's a round shader hole.
And it's like, damn, dude, sometimes it could be so good at times because you're like enjoying like how much detail, but then you step back and you can't see shit. It's like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
You know, like, I think that I want my work to be able to be legible from afar, to have some sort of color movement, have a main
and then
subject.
Still impressive details when someone gets up close, but enough of them.
Yeah, like not too much.
There's no need to like detail every like the background. You don't need to be using a round shader or something like that.
Yeah, I've been painting more, so that I feel like that has helped me a lot.
It's everything.
I'm like, oh, okay, like I never understood it. Like it took so long, and sometimes I laugh at it because it takes so long for you to actually conceptualize something, especially when you're like so enamored of it. I love art, I love all of this, you know, but now I'm starting to like understand painting, like the way the colors mix, and like,
I love it.
The right choices. Like now I only really have like real true colors, like 3 or 5, dude. And from there on, I'm like, blah, 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 I'm here. Yeah. I know how to move around with those 5
It's colors. Amazing what painting does for tattooing.
It really does.
I actually think if you're a tattooer and you're trying to be serious about tattooing and you don't paint, you're crazy.
Yeah, I think
that's something I learned like recently, like maybe in the last like year. I've been painting a lot myself, and I actually started liking acrylic paint.
Yeah, you told me that. I'm really excited to see all your stuff, dude. It's like,
well, it's because I feel like acrylic painting. I used to think oil painting was like tattooing, but I'm learning acrylic painting is more like tattooing.
Yeah, that's like,
because it dries fast. It's like when we were talking about putting black from here to here. You know, you got to do that with acrylic paint. You just do it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, you know, oil, you know, you can mix on the canvas. It doesn't dry. But you can't mix on the canvas with a tattoo.
Yeah.
So it's like when you put a color in, it's there.
Yeah.
But the difference with acrylic painting, it's like tattooing skin that would never get overworked.
And you could overlay a new color.
You could just, you can't blend into it, but you could remix the color and go right over it. Yep. So it's like I said, the way I put it, it's like tattooing skin that you can never overwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
And or that you could layer over, but it doesn't fuck the skin up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like direct like a tattoo.
Yeah, direct like a tattoo.
Like you put in like red and then you mix in a little orange and whip out and then it's dried.
Yep.
And if you fucked up that blend, just do it again.
I think that's why it's so hard for certain tattoo artists to transition to oil, because it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've been painting more with oils, and I've been really loving
But
it.
I love oil too.
Yeah,
Don't get it twisted.
I do that skull painting. I keep looking at it. I feel like this whole interview I've been like just peeping at that.
Yeah, I did that shit in a little apartment in New Jersey before I moved, bro. I didn't even have 5 feet to back up from it because it was this little room.
I love that. I feel like paintings like that.
That is oil.
Like, yeah, you could tell, dude. It's like oil has this like richness.
I know this luminosity.
It's just crazy.
So the way I got into acrylic was because I was doing that Rogan painting there.
Okay.
And I bought
that looks like very oil-ish light.
It does.
Like, but I think that acrylics needs to be applied the right way.
You could make it look like oil,
and then you can make it look like oil.
Yeah, and I didn't even use any mediums or anything. It's just water. But the thing is, the way I got into acrylic was I wanted to do that painting quick. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, I know that you can paint oil over acrylic.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me lay down the base tones
it turned out
with acrylic. And I was like, let me just get the first few layers. Let's like kind of push it a little bit, but I won't get detailed.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to like zone it out like a block in almost with acrylic. Just instead of wasting time, and I didn't want to wait for it to dry. So I was like, and then I'll just switch to oil. Yeah. But I just started enjoying it so much that I was like, I'm just going to keep going. And I just kept going.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so, it definitely has that like oil feel.
So it was an accident. Really well. It was an accident. Like, meaning like I didn't plan on painting with acrylic. Mm-hmm. I hated acrylic. And then with that one, I figured it out.
That one sold you.
Yeah, now I'm like, I don't even want to use oil, bro. I don't got time like that, bro. Like,
dude, one time I had to do a painting for an art show, like a small art show, tattoo artist, and I remember being like, I'm going to start like 2 weeks before or whatever.
Yeah.
I get started like 2 days before it, and then I bring this like wet painting that nobody could touch or like get close to because it's like you
like messed up the art curator's shirt. You know, like guy like fucking rubbed his shoulder against it and was like, oh, damn, bro.
Damn, yeah.
And you were probably out in Miami. You probably ruined a Prada shirt or some shit. You know what I mean?
No, dude, it was interesting. So I feel like when it comes to oils, you can't plan out shows or any showing like months or years before. Like,
I don't do anything that far in advance, man. You got to like paint the layer and you're like, all right, now what? For 2 weeks, I'm just going to go touch my dick while it heals.
Dude.
I mean,
I'm just start another acrylic painting.
That's why I like acrylic, bro. I mean, I don't know. But at the same time, I get like the wrap of acrylic. It's just like, seems like kid paint. Like,
I think that there's an amazing acrylic painters. You just wouldn't even think they're acrylic painters. You would think that they're just oil.
Good acrylic paintings look like oil.
Mm-hmm. Dimitri's stuff, dude, is
I saw that shit in person. It was like awe-inspiring.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet, dude. I'm still. I got a spot for him, so I'm gonna hit you up and be like, yo, give me the connects.
Yeah, you gotta bring an AK-47 to go out there right now.
I'm with it, dude. I'll bring a bazooka.
Yeah, it's like a war.
I know, dude. It sucks.
I went out there like 4 times.
Yeah.
Before the war in Ukraine.
Yeah, that's where you got your sleeve, right?
Yeah. My arm and my leg.
Yeah, that's fucking nasty.
Yeah, it was cool, and he did my hand. It was really cool to go out there. He actually gave me an original. It was so sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I tipped him, and it's like, you know, like in Europe, that's like you don't tip.
It's like.
But I gave him a tip, and he like gave me a fucking original color pencil drawing of Dali.
Oh, wow.
And it's signed like Dimitri Samoa in 2010.
Wow.
And I have it hanging at my house, my most coveted piece of art.
Dude, I bet. He's definitely one of my favorites. I remember seeing his work like in 2012, dude. You know, probably 2013, 2014, and just not to say that I'm like close to him or like, you know, level wise, but I know how to do a realistic tattoo. Yeah. To a certain extent.
You're not far from him. He was just in the game a long time, and he was a fucking, you know, trailblazer.
Yeah, he was like that guy who was, you can never get as big as him no more.
He did that when there was no one else to look towards. You know what I mean? It's not that people aren't close to him. It's just that like he did it when you didn't see anyone else doing it. No, it's not even that. It's just like, who was he looking at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably like Robert Hernandez, and that's it.
Yeah,
like,
and it wasn't even the same kind of thing.
Yeah. So when I remember looking at his work on the magazines, I was like, the gap felt so far away, dude.
Yeah.
It felt like I could never. I didn't even draw realism when I first started. So there was the idea of me doing a realistic tattoo was not even there.
The idea of you doing a realistic tattoo was like unrealistic.
It was so far out there.
Yeah.
And now looking at his work, it's like not to say that I know how to do it, but I understand the steps behind.
I get what
you know what he's doing.
Yeah, of course.
And I love that. Like it's crazy to think about.
Well, you see your own progress.
You're like, wow.
It's like looking in the mirror.
Like I sucked.
It's like
I still might suck, but like I'm trying to get better.
It's like a time lapse of a kid growing up or something. You know what I mean?
And this has been my only real job. I worked at a 7-Eleven. I worked at a BK for like about a year.
What, you were flipping burgers or you worked on the fries?
Nah, dude, I had the face. Oh. I was cashier.
Yo, you were cashier, dude, dealing with that fucking bag, dog.
Yeah, dude, I was cashier. Yeah, I had to make sure that shit was on point every night, dude.
Yeah, you were at the register just picking up chicks who wanted a Happy Meal. Yeah.
No, dude, it was crazy. Miami Beach Burger King stories.
It's like a bunch of chicks with Brazilian butt lifts coming in for a fucking 10-piece chicken tender.
Or a lot of homeless people. It's like big cities have a lot of homeless people. Yeah. So.
You've seen a couple around here.
Yeah,
we saw that one dude out there that had a fucking split watermelon dripping down the sidewalk, and I turned my head real quick and thought it was his head wide open with blood.
It did look very
scared the shit out of me, dude. And I was like, oh no, it's just that dude chilling eating watermelon.
And he was like laying down and eating the watermelon. Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah,
I always felt like
he was like
impractical way of eating.
He was so chill. It was almost like he was on opiates or something.
He was definitely on something, dude. I saw him in the back like when I was being buzzed in. He was already done with the watermelon, but he had the.
He faced that whole watermelon.
He did.
It's kind of like cool. I think someone probably bought him that because it's like a dual purpose. Yeah. You're like feeding the cat and like hydrating him at the same time. It's like a good.
Like it's hot, dude.
It's like a good buy for a homeless guy.
Yeah,
like
I think so.
Yeah.
That's it feeds both purposes.
Yeah. I gotta take a piss. Let's take a break real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. Hell yeah. Yeah. Top yourself off there, bud. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's an easy conversation. Like, I feel like talking about tattooing and just overall, like, I really enjoy that. I think I want to write a book one day.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I think you should.
Philosophy tattoo book, Dao De Jing, or something like that.
What's the title of your book gonna be?
I don't know. Daily doses of meds.
There it is, bro. Yeah. Yo, cheers. We didn't even do a cheers before.
Cheers, bro. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, man.
I've been having so much fun out here in Austin, even though it's fucking hot.
Yeah.
It is. It's real.
Yeah, it's swampy out there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to put on a little extra deodorant.
You got to, like, throw on 2 shirts a day.
I do. I wear an undershirt, bro. You get those sweat marks out here, you know?
No, that was horrible.
Yeah. You get the sweat marks. You eat a little barbecue. You might get some skid marks. You know what I'm saying?
I was scared over there when we went to the barbecue place. I was like, yo, if I touch something the wrong way, like, I leave here with a burn mark.
Yeah, you're about to lose some skin.
Yeah, dude. Some body mod.
They're just like a fucking submarine full of meat, you know?
Yeah. That was crazy, man.
It was cool, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
It was Terry Black's, man.
Terry Black. Shout out to Terry Black.
Yeah, Terry Black, what's up?
Yeah.
They treat me like royalty over there, bro.
Sausage was delicious.
Yeah, dude, having Terry sausage in my mouth, bro, is so good.
It explodes.
It really explodes.
It's an explosive sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even know what we were saying. Don't matter.
Something about something.
You know, everything is about everything.
Mm-hmm. Are you excited you said you were moving, right? You're moving to a bigger spot.
Oh, bigger. Yeah, I'm going to relocate my studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, upstairs.
That sounds really exciting.
Yeah. Dude. Same building, but just bigger jam.
Yeah. Higher ceilings, you were saying?
Higher ceilings.
That's
both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah. There's something there.
Yeah. And we're going upstairs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because we're going up.
We're moving up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We're moving up. Higher ceilings. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on the 2nd floor right now, so whenever I move up, I have to move to a 3rd floor. 4th floor.
Yeah, because you can't go down.
No more. Oh, man.
Sometimes it just be like that. You know? Yeah.
Just like DJ Khaled. He's like, you know why I don't lose weight? Because I don't lose ever.
Yeah, like
he's
that.
He's refusing to lose the weight.
I mean, someone should let him know that when you lose weight, sometimes you gain health. But, you know, that's a whole nother conversation. You know, you gain mobility in your knees, but sure.
Yeah, definitely, dude. There's some things to be gained from losing weight.
Yeah.
How was your journey, dude?
Hell yeah, man. I did carnivore diet. Nice. That's how I got to know him over
like
at
a
Terry
real
Black's.
man's diet?
Yeah, bro. Like a fucking man, bro.
Yeah. You were eating that meat every day.
Yeah, just fucking.
You get the meats diarrhea?
For sure.
Yeah, right. Like I've heard that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's first 2
for
weeks.
a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yo, fucking
just fucking eat meat and shit in your pants.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
But it's like it you look good, by the way. Like
thank you. Yeah, it's because you release. Well, then I switched to the keto. You know what I mean? So you start implementing like the avocados and some eggs. A couple
more fats in there.
Yeah, more fats, and then but you get the growth hormone, dude. Yeah, I got fucking abs, dude.
What?
I don't even work out.
Shit, show them for the camera. Now for abs, I've noticed that it's about the lighting.
Yeah. Life is about the lighting.
Yeah.
Tattoos are about the lighting.
It is. You get that right CPL. Bro.
Yeah.
Tattoo look bright as fuck.
I'm not talking about the pictures. I'm talking about making that shit pop, dog.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I do. I put half like black on one side of a tattoo a lot. If you ever noticed that, like
just black.
Like half the tattoo is dark as fuck, like.
And then just have that one light source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like cheating.
Yeah.
It's like a cheat code in PlayStation 2, you know?
That's how you know you leveled up, bro. You have cheat codes.
That's it. Too. Well, it's efficiency. Mm-hmm. If you put real dark contrast on one side, it's like most of it's black, a couple low lights in there, and then you render one side. And it's like half a tattoo, but it actually works better too.
Yep. And it looks good, so.
Yeah. But then you get those people like, I don't like a lot of black, you know, but it's like they just don't understand.
Yeah. I've had people come up to me and be like, can I get my tattoo light?
Yeah.
And I hate those people.
It's like when you give them some Star Wars shit, like you do or do not.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're not confident in like getting a tattoo.
I know another thing that I do often, and not to like diss my clients, but I do ignore some of their suggestions, you know, to a certain extent.
Well, I don't think you're ignoring their suggestions. I think that you're just
an
experienced professional who knows how this works, and they have a dumb suggestion, or not dumb. I don't even mean to insult them like that.
No, I don't think so.
I just think an uneducated opinion that they just it's like you know, if you went down to the appliance store and like tried to buy like a fucking washing machine or something like that, and you're telling a guy like, I want one that doesn't spin or something. It's like it's like they don't work like that.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, no, I get that. 100%.
It's kind of like that, right?
And then they're coming to us for a reason. I'm hoping that reason is that they trust our.
Well, I think the better you get and the more established you get, I think you start attracting people that do come for you to that reason. You know, I think early on though, when you're like more mediocre, not so established, you attract more people that are like less educated.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
I think it's like there's like a hierarchy to this a little bit.
Yeah, there's like once you reach a level where you're booked, most likely you're gonna get those clients who are okay with you doing your thing.
They're patient. They're willing to pay because they have to be. Yeah.
10 minutes.
They're willing to wait 3 months and then 10 minutes.
And then 10 minutes. Oh my God, dude. That sucks. We got to get better. Or we got to accept ourselves.
Or just accept ourselves. Yeah, I think that's the moral of the story.
Yeah, I think so, dude. I'm going to go back home and really reflect on this conversation.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to watch it and I'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We were right.
And you're going to watch like no one book with you anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'm not going to book this fucking lazy ass 10-minute late. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm sure that there's people who feel like that about me, but I hope they never book with me.
Yeah.
Or I don't need you. I don't need your money or your business. All I want is dudes who are like, or gals who are willing to appreciate the process, because I really do take this seriously.
For sure.
I'm not late because it's not serious to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm late because my time works different.
Yeah.
That's my whole mentality. But
well, that's how you get the creative guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I'm not here like if this was a marine type job, like if my life depended on me being on time, then yeah. But no, my life depends on me doing a really great tattoo.
Yeah, which means you might have to dream for a little while. You know what I mean?
Let me meditate for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And like,
well, I used to worry about being on time, and sometimes I'd be like, fuck, I don't have time to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And then I would come to work without my coffee and shit. And it's like, you don't want me like that.
Yeah, I'm already pissed that I didn't get my coffee.
Let me just do my thing, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Self-acceptance. I think that's what I'm going to take out of this. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I've been meaning to ask you for a while was, you said you got into tattooing when you were in high school. Right? You said, and you started scratching.
Yeah.
But when did you go to a shop?
So it happened, I started tattooing. I watched the video, a YouTube video for about 5 hours. Boom, boom, boom. I got the understanding of what it is to use this Chinese machine.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yeah, I did the same thing, yeah.
And then
I didn't even watch a video.
I was trying to do it the right way, man. But the same day that my kid got there, my uncle, who's like,
your kid?
My kid.
Oh,
my kid.
I thought you had a kid. I was like, damn, bro, I didn't know.
No, shout out to my kid.
Your kid.
Yeah. So the kid got there, and I'm practicing, and my uncle's like, you always got that drunk uncle. And he was like,
dude, I had 2 drunk uncles.
Yeah, he was like, tattoo me right now.
Oh,
I'm going to tattoo myself.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, what? You about to
the day the kick came.
Yeah, you're definitely going to fuck up yourself. So
I tattooed my drunk uncle too.
Really?
Yeah, but not first. But I did it. Yeah.
No, that was the first client. I did a kanji of love the first day that I got the kid.
And you short said love?
Yeah, and it did. it was exhilarating. The most exhilarating thing that I've ever done. I never even knew that I was gonna fall in love with it, but the minute I did it, it was set in stone.
I tattooed my brother on Easter because we had like a family get together. Nice. And I tattooed him on my bed. Nice. And it was like his inner arm, so he laid down like with his head on my pillow. No, but I put a new shower curtain that my mom had as like a liner.
Oh shit! Yeah, at least that was clean. You were like, you knew.
Yeah, just on the bed.
On the bed. I did it on the living room couch. He was drinking. I was tattooing with these like thin ass gloves. You know that you probably catch something. Yeah, if you tattoo with those. And
you just better hope your uncle wasn't out there banging hookers.
Dude. He did get tattooed by this crackhead. I ended up knowing that he was a crackhead, the dude who tattooed him. Yeah. Later on, but he tattooed him outside in the backyard, just like street style. Tattooed his chest
like a rocker.
Yeah, dude, it was like fuck. Like,
damn.
You could definitely get something out of this. Yeah. So I do my first tattoo. I'm tattooing drunk people here and there for the next like 4 or 5 months. Then I walk into this tattoo shop that was close to my house. I'm trying to buy needles, single needles.
Oh, you just want to buy them?
Like not single needles itself, but
like one needle.
Individual like needles.
Yeah, you just want to boil them in a pot of water. Like.
I was like, yo, let me get some needles. And then my brother was like, yo, tell him you tattooed. Tell him you're looking for an apprenticeship. And I did. Joseph Sevilla out of Artifacts was there. And he was like, yeah, I'll apprentice you. And he just was like, pay me $50 a day or something. Yeah. And, the first day I got there, I was like, dude, I don't have money. Like, I can't pay you $50. And he was just like, come and watch me.
Oh, you would have paid him $50 a day?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, right?
Because it adds up.
Yeah. So I was like, nah, dude, I really don't have money. I'm a kid. I'm like 17, like. And he was like, nah, just show
That's
up.
$1,000 a month, right? No, $1,000 a week.
I didn't even do the math, bro. Because I was like,
I can't even do the math right now. What is it, 50, 100, $250 a week? Yeah, it's a G a month.
Yeah. So I think he did it just kind of like, see if he could like, push me away or something. But I show up and I'm there for a whole year.
And you gave him the 50 stack?
No, like $50 a day.
Yeah, but you gave it to him.
No, like I never paid him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was just like, because I was like straight off the bat.
He was just like good kid.
Like, yeah, I don't have money. But
you got the discount.
Yeah, so he just let me watch him for a long time. And I spent a whole year at that shop, kind of being an apprentice. His style of tattooing was very street style.
Yeah.
So a lot of
everything.
Which
is good. I always recommend people learn to do that.
I love that I started in a walk-in shop.
Yeah, you should.
I know how to murder any style, any way you want it.
Let's go. Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'll take your money.
I'll do a traditional tattoo right now.
Yeah, dude. I'll do a mandala right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Yeah, so
who are you if you can't do that?
Yeah, I honestly feel like those guys who don't know how to do everything are missing out on like just confidence,
just attributes. Yeah,
I walk in and no matter what, like I know how to do a fine line tattoo. I know how to do all these stuff.
You know when you play a video game and you pick like a character or something and they have like speed, power, agility, you have everything. Like all the bars are like more full. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely developed those skills there. First year in, somebody leaves, right? One of the artists leaves. I'm like, hey, let me get a spot. Yeah, like let me get a chair. They're like, oh, okay, whatever. I do. First, like, client that walks in and wants a $250 sleeve of a koi fish from here to here. I'm like, hell.
And that was like mad money to you.
Dude, $250? Like, me being an apprentice? Yeah. Everyone in the shop was talking about it.
You were about to get bottle service that night.
Yeah, they were like, oh, you sure you can handle that?
Yeah.
Hey, you better do a good job. I was like, hell yeah. I went, bah. I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have done, but because of that, I think that my tattooing got better.
Yeah. You were in the trenches.
Like, you know how people are like, oh, I'm not going to do that because I've never done. Nah, I was doing shit I wasn't supposed to do.
I'm always been like that.
Yeah, so that's how I found out.
I did a portrait in like my first month. Like, I was like, I got that. And it came out pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, like, if you put yourself out there, you were going to improve on that.
You got to take risks out there. Yeah. So
there's a lot of
I'm still pushing the boundary every time I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to feel a little bit scared when I'm, doing something.
You should.
Like, I don't want to be just like, oh, I got it in the bag then.
Nah, because then you're like flatline. Yeah, you're out there sleeping.
I still do tattoos nowadays, and not to say that they're not great or anything. Just they're clean tattoos. They don't require me to go all the way.
Yeah.
Per se,
Yeah, well, you're just giving someone what they want at that point or something.
And that pays the bills. I still got to do it, Like,
yeah.
I mean, I could sit down and be like, I don't want to do it, but realistically, I'm here to provide service, and I'm also here to make money.
Yeah.
And to provide myself a better living,
Absolutely.
So not every day I'm going to do everything that I want. Yeah. But at least 2-3 times a day, if I have to do what I have to do, I'll do it. Those tattoos don't require me to go all the way. I don't feel connected to them. Mm-hmm. I'm grateful that I'm able to, like, speed through them and like get them done so well, and they look so good. Yeah. They're just not might not make my Instagram.
Yeah, you didn't just stroke your creativity dick. Like, you know what I mean?
I was just like on fucking autopilot. And it's good because it took so many years to get there.
You're just trying to keep the lights on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I feel like I still do sometimes projects like that. Whether it be like a portrait, somebody's portrait, like somebody's family.
Yeah, you don't have to do much prep work, you just make an stencil.
You do a really good job, and that's it.
Those are like, but you need those, I think, in the middle of like your creative, like, things, because it's like it's work.
It's filler.
And it's what someone wants, and you're doing it to the greatest of your ability. But at the same time, it's like you're able to like turn your mind off in one way. Yeah. And you're just focusing on like technical ability. Maybe you're tattooing like a portrait or something, and you do it great.
Yeah. I do like taking projects where the mindset is a technical ability. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm not even saying that I don't like doing them, because I do like keeping that consistent of quality.
Yes.
Throughout everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just like the creative parts.
I know exactly what you're saying. It's almost good, because sometimes when you get too creative, it's like you're focusing less on that. Yep. So you kind of balance it out, and you got this overall yin yang thing going on.
So if you're good on the technical side, you could always like, okay, now I'm feeling artsy. Now I'm feeling ballsy. Now I want to take a chance. Yeah. And because you have all that technical thing down pack, you're more confident.
Yeah, it's like lifting weights,
Yeah, you're like prepping up.
You go do that technical thing. It's like you just did a couple bicep curls. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, dude.
You need some strong muscles before you start doing this CrossFit shit. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes the I'm not even gonna lie, like the really creative stuff is really draining. Yeah. Like when I do a piece where I felt like I went there creatively, I feel really tired the next day. Yeah. Like I don't think I have enough in me to like do 5 of those.
It's like you almost got so much juice.
Yeah, and because it was so good, it was like there was a lot of energy put into that. You can't do it to like 5. I know there's artists who can. I'm not gonna say, but I'm hoping to get there.
I mean, maybe I might be one.
Yeah, I think so.
But I'm like a very abstract creative guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that's like something that kind of comes natural to me, like being a little more like wavy.
Yeah, you're like,
but yeah.
Fuck it.
And sometimes I'd be making designs that get like haywire. And I learned that too, like as time went on. Like I'd be fading 4 colors over like a portrait. Like it goes from like, like purple to pink to blue, like in a thing. And I'm like, fuck, like I actually got to now do that like on the tattoo. But on like the computer where I made the design, it was easy. Yeah. So then I learned to like reduce that shit too sometimes. Yeah. But that comes with experience. And that's also like a form of efficiency of the design itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I think you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, no, I think it comes down to that. Because I've designed stuff that I would never want to tattoo. Yeah. Like, I could.
You might want to paint it.
Yeah, like, I definitely could. But it's just going to take me 16 hours. I don't want it.
Yeah, and it's like so many hours to achieve something that's just like... It's like you put in like 80% more time to achieve 5% more result. Mm-hmm. It's like the cost benefit isn't worth it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like a bad return on investment.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you went like 10 more hours to do something so tricky that's only like 5% more impressive from 5 feet away. Yeah. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. So you could also do a piece where, because to me, art in some way has to have restraint. Yeah. Like no matter even like how abstract you might get, I think that there has to be a certain restraint in certain things of the whole.
Of course, yeah.
Like creating.
It's like understanding the rules before you break them.
Yeah, you gotta understand how to like pull back.
Well, that's how I feel about. I agree with that, and that's how I feel about when I see people that do like artsy fartsy shit, and they just like throw something at the canvas, and they're like, "Oh, it's so cool," but it's like, can you show me you understand, or you understand the rules, or you understand reality, and then you're still abstract within the right constraints?
Have you ever seen Rothko's work?
No.
It's just like big paintings, abstract paintings, just blocks of colors. It looks kind of like a window, but it's not just like blue, black, red, whatever. If you search it up, you'll see what I mean. They're very simple. But the dude killed himself. You know, every single emotion he was trying to portray in that painting, he did. It was intentional. There was what you said. There was a process to it.
Yeah.
He wasn't just being abstract for the sake of abstract.
Yeah. Because that's like annoying to me.
Yeah. No. Yeah. There was like I thought he sat in front of his paintings, the biggest fault.
Yeah.
And he felt those feelings, and he portrayed them on the canvas. And that's when you stare at them and you sit in front of, because you can see them online and you're not gonna get the same effect. But if you stand in front of those paintings, you see the power. Because I didn't understand abstract art. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of still art that I don't understand, but I still want to figure out what the artist was thinking, what their like process was, what their intention was. And when I read his stuff, it was like amazing. The dude was battling with himself
all the
time.
Yeah.
And this was his way of like putting it out in a visible.
What's his name?
Rothko, Mark Rothko.
Mark Rothko. I'll look it up.
Yeah, he's really famous. He's like, I mean, he's at the top of the. He's like Pollock. Yeah, you know, like that type of famous type shit.
Yeah, that's what I want to get into more now, is going to museums.
Dude, that's fun.
And I used to go a lot, but I didn't go with the right intention. You know, sometimes I feel like I would go to museums like in almost like an egoic. Yeah. Like I could do that.
That's definitely the first few times that I've like been there. I just wanted to say that I went to the Met.
Yeah.
Rather than like enjoy the Met.
Yeah. That's that's like a whole nother level of like transcendence.
Yeah. Like nowadays, I think that maybe I've had like 2 experiences where there was no ego driven.
Yeah, me too. Like I've had a couple.
I went in there and I'm just an observer.
Yeah.
I'm here to feel things.
Like forget you're an artist.
Yeah.
Just be like a
human.
Just a human.
You're a human.
Yeah.
You walk in there and you let those paintings
like speak to you.
You know? Like,
yeah. The last time I went, I started really paying attention to like not even the painting, but the color combos.
Yes.
And I started being like, oh, cool. Like, you know, it's like this color combo, something I didn't think of, or, you know.
There's a lot of paintings where like, I'm like, these guys, they could have been genius right now. Like in this modern time, the way that they like mix their colors and the way how vibrant they look, and like they look like they can live in any era in the world. Yeah. And like just be good. So I love that about art. I think that it took me a while to sell myself the idea that I'm an artist. Because, you know, I have no institution to back that I'm an artist. Same. So that it was always like an imposter feeling. But then I realized I'm like, oh, I'm a human. Yeah. Having a human experience. Yeah. That's all I need.
And you just so happen to like make art.
Yeah. So that's all you need in order to portray that, you know, because later on, as I'm like getting older, I'm like realizing the importance of art, not as just like a pretty picture. Yeah. But that like true raw human nature.
I remember I said that to Robbie Latos one time. I was like, I'm not really an artist. I was like, I just, you know, look at art like practically like almost like math or something. And he's like, oh, so like an artist. Like I forget like how he said it, but like the way he said it was like, I was like, yeah,
that's a very Robbie.
I was like, I'm not an artist. I was like, I'm just like a guy like making things. And he goes, yeah, so you mean like an artist? Like the way he said it to me was like so funny.
Yeah, I can see that. That's definitely a Robbie response.
I was like, yeah. He's like,
yeah,
but it's true.
That's all you really need, bro. And like, you know, you think about the early art in human history as like you think about the cave art. I'm always fascinated with that. The idea that some human, some animal, let's not even call him human at this point. Yeah. Some animal saw another animal and there was like, there's pigment right here. Yeah. Boo, boo, boo. I could draw that. Look, every other person that came around to that cave saw this deer and knew exactly what that was.
Yeah. It's almost like God.
Like, can you imagine that? Like,
no, it's mind-boggling.
The first like time you see a drawing of a deer and you're conceptualizing, you know exactly that that's a deer.
Yeah.
Or if you do the handprints, there's a lot of handprints.
Yeah.
That person was like recognizing, he was like, I'm here, bitch. This is me. I'm a human. This is my human experience. I was here. Kind of like graffiti. That's like the first few
graffiti
things.
I love for that reason.
It's like,
it's just like innate way, like it's an innate way of just leaving your mark.
Yep.
It's like a innate in humans.
I think it has to come down to like the fact that we're just gonna die.
Yeah.
So like,
it's like a primal longing.
Yeah, like you want to leave something.
Yeah.
You know, you want to leave, and these people left it. You think that they thought they were like, oh, fucking 10,000 years from now somebody's gonna see this?
No,
they didn't care.
But maybe there was like subconscious clinging to the existence, you know.
But they didn't know that it would like survive, right? And then now we're looking back at it, and we're like, in my head, I've been like, that's something that's just been playing in my head. I'm like, if there was no culture of art, I still feel like I would sit down and do something.
Yeah.
You know, like,
because it's like innate. It's like primal. It's like, let me leave a fucking mark.
Yeah. So I would still do some sort of art, even if there was no like cultural behind it. I know I could be an artist or whatever. I think I would still be that person who left their like handprint.
It's almost like your like consciousness's longing to exist beyond its existence or something. You know.
I think that's definitely true.
Something like that, maybe.
No, I think so. I think that humans do want to stay. They want to leave behind something.
It's almost like the inability to accept immortality.
Yeah.
I mean, mortality. Wait, why am I confusing those two?
Immortality is the one that.
Let me just use the term death. Maybe that would be better. It's like I don't want. It's like it might be like a subconscious thing of like I know I'm impermanent. So let me try to leave something that might outlive me, but like not even consciously, maybe.
Yeah, maybe in the beginning it wasn't, but now it definitely is. I think about tattooing. You know, tattooing is such a temporary thing.
It's like so temporary. If it's like permanent, it's like
no, dude, you're gonna die.
You gonna die, dog.
Like 8 hours of my life just went into that piece, and you're just gonna rot.
Every tattoo that's ever been done will be gone.
Yeah, unless you just cut that skin off. I'm really hoping that one of my clients signs up for that.
Yeah, that shit's wild.
I love that idea of like.
I don't know much about it.
I don't know either, but I know that you could cut your skin and like leave it
and preserve it.
That's cool, but also selfish. You know, like I'm over here like trying to figure out a way for that.
I almost think it'd be just cooler if the maggots eat it. You know?
Yeah, I think that's more like
let like vegetables grow with eternal ink infused into it. You know? You'll get like more red tomatoes. You know, like
start getting yellow tomatoes.
Yeah, the blueberries will start looking like true blue. You know,
that is interesting. That would be cool. Like if it dyed it up.
Yeah, like put the Georgia peach in the Georgia peach. You know what I'm talking about? Like, like, I'm just kidding.
I can see it though.
The soil, like everyone in the graveyard is just decomposing, but it's mostly just like radiant ink.
At this point, dude, honestly, that graveyard has to have at least 20 to 30% people who have some sort of ink.
I don't know. There's a lot of old cats in some of those cemeteries.
You know? You're right. Maybe they have no tattoo. Maybe this generation though. Once this like maybe 2000 to the 2020.
I wonder if like you know the Enigma.
Yeah.
If like the Enigma got cremated, his ashes would just be like green.
I think so, dude.
You know,
that dude is crazy. He's got like a lot of work. I think about like tattooing and how people just kind of like it. You know?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah, very weird.
I don't think people talk about it.
I don't like it.
Like it's kind of weird, dude.
Yeah.
You get a needle stab you for hours.
Yeah.
But it's so cool.
Well, you're like designing your body at the cost of pain.
Yeah.
You know? It's like they probably don't like it. They probably just like the result. They like getting complimented in the produce section of the grocery store.
Yeah, I think so, dude. You know? That's why I do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't live without those compliments.
Yeah. The dude at the bottle service, like, you know, like Shorty looking at his like fucking forearm, you know, I think that has a lot to do with it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the pain. I guess there's some crazy people out there who enjoy the pain.
Yeah. I've tattooed a few of those and that's kind of weird.
But there's also people like getting like slapped on the booty with a paddle. You know what I'm saying? Or people who hang from a fucking rope by piercings in their back. So I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely don't judge. It's just, you know, to me it's weird.
Yeah. I'm not even judging. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like to me it's like it's just weird, but I love that I'm part of it. Like I do think that there's a few ancient arts This is one of them.
Oh, I think it's the most ancient.
Right? Like, this is kind of like, you would think that we're here doing something new, popular, in the fad, but it's not.
Well, it is. It is because it's the way it's gone.
But it's not like your job as a tattoo artist to make a mark on somebody is something that has been practiced for thousands of
and
years. It gets lost and then it brings back up. And I love that, dude. It's kind of like a plumber can't say that he was plumbing. Like,
well, the Romans were plumbing.
Yeah, they were. Maybe there were plumbers out there. Yeah, I saw
fucking Mario.
Yeah, I saw the
Luigi. You know, they're just hanging out, like fucking going down pipes, jumping on shelves.
I saw that there was like what's this city that got burned or something in ancient Greece? It's Pompano or something like that.
Oh, you mean Pompeii?
Pompeii, yeah.
In Italy, from the volcano.
Okay, that's what it is. That, you know, those areas had like actual plumbing.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? You know, you think the people 2,000 years ago were like not smart? No. They're fucking genius.
Maybe smarter in a way.
I think so, dude. Now, I was trying to open up a shop and I was like, AI, how to come up with a business plan. Brrr,
yeah.
15
That's
steps on like what I gotta do. I don't have to think
something
about it.
is smart, but not you.
Yeah, I think maybe we're gonna get dumber.
Yeah, well, there's real good, compelling arguments for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get smarter somewhere else.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, like, hopefully I'm using all this time to not just smoke all weed and like not grow intelligence.
Well, I think like when you have all these luxuries and developments, you don't have to use your personal brain as much to figure those things out. Yep. So there might be some form of de-evolution in that sense. But I think humanity has a way of correcting itself, because as soon as that got too low, we'd hit like, which you might be seeing now, like a lot of problems and turmoil, and then it's like shit hits the fan or some kind of war or whatever, and then like shit gets kind of like pushed back a little, and then we are forced to like kind of
no, for sure.
You know what I mean? I think it's like cyclical.
Yeah.
Probably.
We're overdue for another big movement,
like World War III or something.
Yeah, you know? I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
No, I mean it's just if you look at history, it's like humanity. It's how it goes. You know.
I think so, dude. I think
we're getting a little comfortable out here. You know what I mean?
It's getting real nice.
Yeah.
It's real nice.
We're lucky to live when it's like kind of nice. You know?
Yeah,
but
I think
might
about
not
that shit, dude. I think about that like switch, because it must be so surreal to go from like comfort to straight up dog shit.
Yeah, I mean that happens
in Ukraine. You get me? They were like just boom, and then out of nowhere it was just like
Venezuela, Cuba, right?
I think Nicaragua also was going through some shit. Yeah, that is nuts to think about.
Like someone could just be like living good and then just like, yeah,
and it's scary, you know, like. Living in the U.S. for some reason, it makes me feel a little safer.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
and they got a real nice Navy.
And
I'm an American now. Did I mention that?
The best military in the world is, you know, helps.
Yeah, dude, I'm a citizen now, so I feel like
welcome to the club. Man.
Yeah, dude, I feel really. Maybe that's why I'm like walking around all white.
Yeah, you're like, swaggering around. Look at those fresh kicks.
This looks like I live in the suburbs, right?
You look white right now. Yeah. I think you look whiter than me, dude.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping America keeps it together, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm rooting for it, dude.
Well, why shouldn't you be? You know what I mean?
I when I was a kid, you know, like that's the one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't say or whatever, but like me as a Honduran, like moving here was like something to look forward to. It wasn't like a bad thing.
No,
like,
It
was like, oh shit, like, look at me now, dude. Yeah. Like, I'm a tattoo artist. I fly around all across the country.
You're hanging out at the Coconut Club in Austin, just chilling,
dude, like,
drinking Casamigos.
I could afford any drink I want.
Yeah,
like, I move however I want.
Yeah,
like,
we just ate copious amounts of meat,
dude, and we could have thrown that away if like we weren't like conscious. You know? Good thing we had the cameraman. We had to give it to him.
Yeah,
but imagine we would have thrown that shit away, dude, because that's how.
Yeah, and in other places in the world, that's like a real like hard thing to wrap your brain around.
Yeah, so I'm happy.
I think that's a pretty good point, you know.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna root for where I'm at, you know.
I agree with that, man, and I see no value in rooting against where you live, you know.
I mean, you can criticize it all you want, but at the end of the day, you ain't leaving. You still gonna sit here and eat your McDonald's?
Yeah, at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
in your
after
SUV.
The club.
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah.
And you can have your opinions or whatever, but You ain't making no move.
Nah, I'm not.
I'm not either.
I'm good right here, dude.
I'm the type of person that I've learned to like really enjoy my life. So like I know there's people who are longing for something.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like slowly appreciating where I'm at.
Hell yeah. Me too. Even the struggles.
Yeah. I mean,
in fact, sometimes it's my favorite parts.
Dude, you know, not to get too personal, but the minute something like that where it shifts so much energy, where, you know, either people leave or there's open spaces for my life, it's when I make the biggest progress.
Yes.
Like, I feel like right now I'm at the cusp of everything that I'm doing. I move, I'm moving.
No, I feel the same way, man. It's like, it's almost like you need these like gaps of turmoil.
Yep.
Sometimes I almost felt like for a while things were so good for me and so even keeled that I was like on a hospital bed going beep. Like I almost need some like problems, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's like where you grow.
Yeah, I think so too, dude. For me, every time I notice a change, like a big change, I know things are gonna like get hard.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's how it has to be.
And you're gonna come out on the other side
I'm gonna
better.
Be better.
Yeah.
Bigger, better.
Fuck yeah.
Like,
let's go.
That's where I'm at. That's why I'm here.
Hell yeah.
Like, I feel the difference in myself. I think that you lose a little bit of yourself when you compromise so much.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not compromising anymore.
I'm with that, man.
For it. Like, whatever I want.
Couldn't agree fucking more. And like, I almost think we need to end on that because I think
so
that's
too.
like
that was like good.
That was good as fuck. Like that's like as real as it gets. That's some real shit. Like that's the best. Like
Oh, thank you, Bobby. I really do appreciate you having me out here and taking the time to, you know, show me Austin around.
Yeah,
I know that there's been guest spots where I show up and there's absolutely nobody at the shop.
Oh no, fuck that. I'm
so
down
I'm
to
like,
hang, boy.
Yeah, like I'm here, like I came to see the person, you know. Like, I'm guest spotting. But
hell yeah, and that's great to me. Where can the listeners find you, man?
Medz Tattoos. You know, I'm gonna be in Golden State. I'm gonna be all around the country, and hopefully by next year, I make it out the country. I'm just waiting for my passport right now.
Fuck yeah.
So I really, if you ever want to do something outside,
I'm
the country,
down, bro.
I would love to do something.
Yeah, let's do it.
That way I'll be like, yo, I'm out there with Bobby, and they'll be like, oh, Bobby?
It'd be fun as fuck. No.
Fuck yeah.
By that time, they're not gonna know who I am. I'm gonna be like hanging out here, like looking like Willie Nelson, gray long hair, and you'll be like the fucking stud. You know,
you'll be like out there eating the watermelons.
Yeah. No, hopefully not that. Hopefully I'll be eating watermelons in my 5-bedroom home. But you know,
dude, that's a pretty big house. How do you find yourself in?
Yeah, I don't even know, bro. It's like hard to keep clean.
Right? I have a 2-bedroom apartment.
I gotta hire a fucking cleaning lady. You know?
I have a 2-bedroom apartment, and I find really hard to clean that shit, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's because we'll probably have the same personality type. Late and untidy.
Yeah. But I like tidy. You know? Like,
yeah, me too.
It's a weird...
But it's hard to do.
Yeah,
I like it so much, but it's so hard to do.
I hate that everything in the house has to be done repeatedly over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
It's like you do it, and by the time you get done with it, you got to start back at the beginning. Yeah, it's like a never-ending cycle. I mean, I guess that could be said about everything.
Yeah.
It's like you got to keep maintaining it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at that. And we'll end it at that.
Yeah, man. Cheers, man. Thanks for coming out.
Cheers.
We got to do it again, man.
Let's do it. I want to come back. Austin is the shit.
Yeah, we'll go back to the Coconut Club, you know?
Yeah, I want to go to the mothership too, bro.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Thanks for listening, y'all. Deuces. Later.